I dread to think what's going on the other side. You know, I'm kind of just barely holding on what's happening now.
I'm Jandreau here with Nerdist, sitting down with Sam Raimi, and I've got to know, you've been foundational to this golden age of comic book film.
Thanks.
But what first got you into comic books, and as a fan, what's been the coolest thing for you to see translated onto screen?
Well, I got into comic books because my older brothers, Ivan and Sander, used to read them, and they would bring them home. And I remember at the time, the Marvel ones were too complicated. They had personal stories. I didn't want to know about that. I just wanted Batman and Superman. But then eventually, my brother Sander showed me this comic and said, "This is Spider-Man. You've got to read this. This is a real story about a real kid, real problems, and it's really interesting and fun." So I did, and I fell in love with Spider-Man and never looked back.
And is there anything you've enjoyed as a fan just to casually watch at the theater and go, I can't believe that exists?
You mean in the Marvel superhero world?
Any comic movie that you've gone like, I can't believe they did that.
I was really impressed with Shazam. I couldn't believe they made a successful movie out of that character. It was really fun and funny, and I love the Batman movies, you know, the Dark Knight trilogy. I mean, I don't know about can't believe, because I've always thought that the comics were the greatest stuff of movies, even when Hollywood didn't think so. So I'm never of the point of view like, I can't believe they made that cool one. But I guess I'm impressed that the more minor characters are getting their own movies, like Moon Knight or even Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was important enough in the universe to get his own movie, but I'm thrilled that he does because he's so unique.
And you mentioned him back in Spider-Man 2, so this has been building a long time.
Doctor Strange.
That's pretty good, but it's taken.
But in that world of Spider-Man, you've said Spider-Man 4 is something you'd consider doing. After doing this film and with the advances in technology, is there anything from your original outline you'd want to keep, or would you want to start fresh?
I think we'd have to start fresh if that was the job to get into a movie like that, but I don't currently have any plans to do that.
Now, at this point on the press tour, I've heard you talk about how integral Kevin Feige has been in making a movie of this scope, and he's always got this great 10-year plan. He was an executive back 20 years ago when Spider-Man 1. Did you guys ever talk about like a greater shared Marvel universe?
No, he was working with Avi Arad on it though. You know, Avi Arad was the head of Marvel at the time, and Kevin was his assistant. And Avi was, I think, trying to get a Marvel cameo in the first Spider-Man movie, and he was trying to connect the universes. He worked on the Iron Man movie with Kevin and brought in characters from other comics that were going to cross over. So he was starting to do that, but Kevin really did it in a grand, beautiful way.
And how did your first day on that film 20 years ago compare to your first day on this film?
The first day on 20 years ago was actually long. It came out 20 years ago.
Oh, that's true. So it'd be like 22, yeah.
About a quarter of a century.
Whew.
But there were so many tests that we were shooting day after day after day. It kind of blended into the first day of photography on Spider-Man 1. So it was not memorable. The test just evolved into the movie.
Yeah. Now, if you could meet a multiversal version of yourself, what would you hope their big difference was? What could you learn from another Sam Raimi? Who would you want to meet?
Which Sam Raimi would I like to meet?
Yeah, like a variant of you.
The wise one.
And last question for you. You've directed most of the magical members of the MCU now. Who do you think has the best magic hands and magic concentration face?
God, Wanda has got some moves with her wrists that are unbelievable. And she puts her whole body into it. She does this whole, like, it's like a dance. But he's great too. I don't know. That would have to have a magic handoff.
I would watch David Blaine choreograph.
They're both great, and they both have their unique styles.
Yeah, it's a beautiful dance, and I cannot wait to see the rest of this film. Thank you for being so foundational. The reason I do this is largely your work, so
wow.
thank you.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for the publicity.
Appreciate it. How you doing today, man?
Very good, thank you.
I've been curious. Your hair seems to grow along with your power. Is there a hair subplot? Because I know in Infinity War, Tony asks Steven about his hair, and yours seems to be growing. Is there a secret there?
Oh yeah, it's the Samson superpower, isn't it? I don't know. I think I came off another job when I immediately started the first Doctor Strange, so I think we just had a bit of a hairstyle progression, shall we say. Yeah.
Okay, so the internet conspiracies
Yeah.
are off, but we debunked it here.
Yeah, it's not too much. you know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, you are a fan of Hunka Hulka Burning Fudge as a character.
But then Ben & Jerry's named a flavor after me, so
Stark raving hazelnuts.
it's not bad.
A bit chalky.
A Hulka burning fudge is our favorite.
That's a thing.
Yes.
But if you could design your own in-universe flavor, what would that be?
Oh, thanks. Thank you for that opportunity. I think it's got to be maybe a mint chocolate chip with popping candy.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Some texture, some
Yeah,
flavor.
thanks.
I'm into that.
And
Now-
chili.
So a little spice.
Yeah.
So like a mint and
Insane. Yes.
Oh, I like bold, man.
Okay.
And that fits the character because
There
the
we go.
character's the source of supreme. He's got like a lot of pops.
Yeah, a bit of yin and yang within the ice cream, definitely.
Now that you're the Sorcerer Supreme officially, what was your first change to the Sanctum Sanctorum itself? Decor, style, what did you do first?
I think he's kept everything pretty much the same, you know, but it's the sort of greater responsibility that he realizes that he now has. You know, his duty to the students, you know, the oath that he took.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's really sort of troubled in a way that, you know, he potentially has to change the school into a fortress.
Now, between No Way Home, Shang-Chi, and now this, your role has grown and grown. Are you the new Nick Fury? Are you the one gathering all these things? Like, is your role that in the MCU?
Well, I have Portal will travel, so I'm really pleased about that. It's really flattering to be likened to the Nick Fury character, but I mean, you know, just for me, you know, because I'm happy just to hold on and just travel all the way through all of these movies. So it's been great for me.
Yeah. And last question for you. You've dealt with almost every magical character in the MCU. And I've got to know, in interacting with them, which actor has the best magic hands or magic concentration face?
I mean, it's got to be Lizzie, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like, what is it? A mixture of Kate Bush fire, sort of, with the kind of evil strands there. I like her sort of kind of witching style. Yeah.
And actually, real last question. This is a multiversal experience. So if you could meet one multiversal version of you, what would that variation be? Who would you want to learn from, a change that you had made in your life so you could grow as a person for you?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I don't really know what a multiversal version of me. I dread to think what's going on the other side. You know, I'm kind of just barely holding on what's happening now.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I like that Zen approach.
Yeah.
You got your sense of self. You
Yeah.
don't need to meet somebody else.
Yeah. I am enough. Let's find out what's going on in this reality. Yeah.
Always a pleasure, man.
Thanks.
Deadly Class and this are some of my favorite things, so I really
Bless you.
appreciate
Thanks,
your work.
Guy.
Thank you.
All the best. Cheers. Thanks.